from... It's Flash Friday. Poof, I'm a Jew. And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Well, there's the microphone. Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show on, believe it or not, my 20th anniversary on the air in Los Angeles. 20 years ago today was my first day on the air in Los Angeles. How exciting is that? Wow. So I'm very excited to be sitting here. I'm very excited to be still standing. And as you will see in our continuing efforts here to tell you what an accomplishment this is, this hour I'll have a list of people. It's only a partial list. I'll try to get as many people in as I can before this broadcast is over. List of people who've come and gone in L.A. Talk Radio since I started. Many of these names you will recognize. Some of them are on-air people. Some of them are management people whose careers have gone to that great programming office in the sky. I love it. Wide open telephones on the Tom Leykis Show on this Flash Friday. Flash Friday, everybody. Headlights on across North America. Ladies, if you see somebody with the headlights on, show them your cans. If you've seen a nice pair of cans, call me now. At 1-800-5800-TOM. It's 1-800-5800-866. Saw plenty of headlights on today. I just love it. But because it's my 20th anniversary, I ask you all to make a special effort to get those lights on today and to show everybody you're a listener and to show all of whatever city you're in, whether it's here in Southern California, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Seattle, wherever you might be, wherever you're listening with a podcast or online or on your iPhone or whatever. I want you to show the world that you are a Tom Leykis listener by turning your headlights on wherever you might be. Even if you're in another country, do it. Okay? And ladies, if you see somebody with the headlights on, show them your cans. Got a nice pair of cans? You want to show them off? You can call us here at 1-800-5800-TOM. Tell us what we're missing. And we'd certainly love to hear from you. Okay, your calls here at 1-800-5800-TOM. Wide open telephones. Anything goes here. Anything at all. We can talk about anything that's on your mind. It could be anything we discussed on the air this week. Anything you think we should have talked about. You can call up, yell, scream, complain, jump up and down. It's all fair game as long as you're absolutely fascinating. And if you're not, we kick your ass the hell off the telephone. It's that simple. Just call 1-800-5800-TOM. It's 1-800-5800-866. All right. Let's say hello here to Laura on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Laura.
Congratulations on your 20-year L.A. gig.
Thank you.
You go ahead and live it up today, and just know tomorrow we expect 20 more.
Well, I'm working on that right now, yes. We start working on that today.
Hey, listen, I got a bone to pick with you, mister.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate this week, and I took offense to your comments about people who had to claim bankruptcy. Your statement went something to the effect that people are basically money management morons unless you got hit by a bus or you discovered you had a brain tumor. Well, I like to say that I took a lot of offense to that because I had a great thing going in a career. And you know what? We all got laid off. had a great billion-dollar company. I went in there making $13 an hour. 5.5 years, I worked up to $20 an hour. It doesn't sound like a lot to you, but it was the scope of the job that I had. And you know what? 700 of us got laid off at the corporate location here in North Orange County. 700 of us.
And what made you think? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. Wait. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What made you think that company was like a welfare state and that you had a job for life?
Nobody has a job for life, but
right.
It doesn't make it any easier to take that sour pill when you have to get laid off.
Well, you should have been prepared for that. Why weren't you prepared for that?
Well, let me say this about that. I was establishing a 401. I had a savings going, but let me say something.
401k is not the same as having savings. 401k is a retirement account.
No doubt, Tom. No doubt.
Why didn't you have money put away for this purpose? Why not? And the reason is because you thought you had a job for life. That's why.
No, I didn't.
Well, listen to the bitterness coming out in you.
No, I didn't. But you know what? When you lose a job and you're like, okay, fine, things happen. Everybody loses a job for one reason. It happened to me. And then, I lost it at the end of 2002. At the beginning of 2003, our country ended up going to war in Iraq. Nobody was hiring. Nobody. So if you were lucky enough to get job offers, they were offering you $10.
Why didn't you have money in the bank to cover your living expenses? Why not?
For 3 months, Tom, when nobody's hiring because of the war.
No. By the way, I have it in. You know how much I have in savings? No matter how much I make. So it has nothing to do with how much I have, whether I made $28,000 a year or $50,000 a year or the seven-figure income I make today. Do you know how much I have in savings? 1 year of living expenses.
Tom, in a perfect world, we would.
No. Darling, stop with the perfect world stuff. Stop with the perfect world stuff. Your world is what you create for yourself, and you're making excuses.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm talking reality.
you are.
I'm just talking reality, and
you're not.
Think I had a FICO score of 730 when I had a BK. It took me 10 years to work that credit back up. It was like a knife through
how
the
many
heart.
credit card debts did you have?
One.
And how much was it?
Let's see, barely 13,000.
13,000.
Yeah.
Why do you have $13,000 in credit card debt?
At that time, that's just what it was. Car repairs?
No. Car repairs, you should have cash to pay for car repairs. If you don't have cash to repair your car, you're spending too much.
Tom, you're off base,
No, you're off base. People like you are now getting a dose of reality.
Well, I'm just telling you, reality sometimes is out of people's control. It just
No,
is.
it's out of your control when you... Here's what's out. But again, I said that time, if you had a brain tumor, if you suddenly had lung cancer and you had to have a lung removed or something, you're not part of the list of people I'm talking about. It's the people who have no illnesses at all, who spend like there's no tomorrow, $13,000 in debt. And by the way, I might add, what was the interest rate on that $13,000? 18% a year? You even know how much it was?
No, Tom, I just told you.
You didn't even know how much you were paying.
Yes, I did.
How much?
It was 9%.
9%.
Yes, it was. I was being courted to get a lower and lower APR because I paid my bills on time.
But you still didn't need to have 13.
You get courted to get your APR lower.
You still didn't need to have $13,000 in credit card debt.
True.
You didn't.
That's true. But you know what?
Why did you do it?
I was doing good, chipping that away. The credit card company.
But why did you let it get up so high?
Hey. S happens, dude.
No. You may see, there you go. S happens is exactly what I'm talking about. That's you making excuses for you. S happens because you make S happen to yourself.
And you know what? When you do your part to chip away at it and you're doing a good
chip away. You shouldn't have anything to chip away at. You shouldn't be $13,000 in credit card debt.
You're not being fair, Tom. You're
yes,
not.
I am.
That wasn't right to say that.
Unless you've had brain surgery or you're missing a lung, you should not have $13,000 in credit card debt. Period. Period. And then blame the company for firing you.
I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, hey, it happened. We all.
Well, if you knew it was likely to happen, you wouldn't be in that position.
You know what? If I could have replaced close to that income, which is peanuts, okay, fine, everybody's peanuts. If I could have replaced that income instead of just half of what I was offered, if I got a job offer, that's all they were offering because no one was hiring. Everything was status quo, wasn't it? But nobody was hiring, Tom.
Again,
Nobody.
It doesn't matter. If you had a year in living expenses put away, or even 6 months, you would have weathered the storm. By the way, if you didn't have $13,000 in credit card debt, you would have weathered the storm. But you acted as if you had a job for life.
No, I didn't.
Of course you did.
No.
I don't have to put words into your mouth. I'm telling you that's what you did.
No, I didn't. I never said that. You're putting the mindset in where it didn't exist. No, you're talking to somebody who's very, very savvy about you can't relate to, you can't count on anything. And another thing.
Why would you ever have Why would you ever have $13,000 in credit card debt?
Please. You act like I'm saying 30. You act like I'm saying $130,000 in debt.
What did you make? $300,000 a year? $500,000 a year? How much did you make?
Oh, something little, like maybe $32,000.
That's my point. You should not have almost half of your annual income in credit card debt. That's insanity.
You know what?
There's not a financial planner on earth who would approve of that. Not one. Have you ever sought the help of a financial planner?
A financial planner?
Yeah, you probably don't even know what that is, do you?
Yes, I do.
Do you think any financial planner would think that was good financial health for your household? Do you think that's good for your family? You think anybody would say that?
Are you hearing me say that?
But then why did you do it?
I'm just being honest.
Why did you do it? No, you're not. S happens. No, you did it. S didn't happen to you. You made S happen.
You know what? It's called survival, Tom.
No, it's not.
Survival.
This is not survival. No, that's a lie. You're in denial. That's why you're bankrupt, and that's why we're all paying for people like you who are deadbeats.
No.
You're a deadbeat.
No,
you did
I'm
not.
not.
You borrowed money you could not afford to pay back, and we all have to make up the difference. You're a deadbeat.
Well, it wasn't from mismanagement, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yes, that was great fiscal management. $32,000 a year and $13,000 in credit card debt. Outrageous.
Well, that's all you're gonna just zero in on.
That's the biggest thing. You mean were there bigger mistakes you made than that? Tell me about them.
No,
that was the
even.
biggest. That was the biggest mistake you made.
Not even. It was so close to, there wasn't enough money to go around to everybody, okay? There just wasn't. You had to face reality.
What?
And just go, hey, I'm not going to go.
What?
Sometimes you just have to say, hey, there's not enough money to go around.
But you only made $32,000 a year. You made $32,000 a year. That's $600 a week.
Tom, when you have that debt to that income, if you don't have a lot of other debt, you can chip that balance away, and it's not the end of the world.
You shouldn't have to chip the balance away. It never should have gotten to $13,000.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The APR was going down on like people...
It doesn't matter what the APR was doing. It does not matter what the APR was doing. The number that wasn't going up was your salary. Your salary was low. And you couldn't afford to borrow that much money. And the proof is in the pudding because you had to file for bankruptcy because you're a deadbeat.
Oh, Tom... No, you're way off base.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The rest of us, everybody listening to this show had to pay for Laura's bankruptcy because she's a deadbeat. This is the kind of person who's putting America in the position it's in now. We're broke. And we're broke because people like you borrowed money you couldn't afford to borrow and then didn't pay your debts. You did it.
Yeah, lots of jobs, Tom. When you had
No, that's not what caused it. That is 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 not what caused your problem, dear. That is not what caused your problem. What caused your problem was overspending, under-earning, and acting like you had a job for life. Yes, you could say it all you like, but the proof is in the pudding. You're a bankrupt deadbeat. That's what you are.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You didn't pay your debts.
Well, it wasn't my fault.
That's the very definition of a deadbeat. All this talk about deadbeat dads, who's more of a deadbeat than you?
Well, you can say all you want.
Who is more of a deadbeat than you?
No.
If you're not a deadbeat, who is?
No. And all those other people that went...
If you're not a deadbeat, who is? If you are not a deadbeat, who is?
No.
Name a deadbeat. Who's a bigger deadbeat than you?
Oh, the people that signed on...
Ed McMahon, that's right. But other than him, what about you, huh?
No, I understood exactly what I signed on to, and I was making my obligations. I don't sit there and sign...
You did not make your obligations. You filed for bankruptcy, and you got your obligations discharged. You did not meet your obligations.
I lost.
How many thousands of dollars did you not pay?
Of my income.
That's not our fault. That is not our fault. It's your fault.
It isn't my fault either.
It's your fault.
You know, you seem to miss a big point here. I wasn't fired. I got laid off.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it does.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it
no,
does.
it doesn't.
The vast majority of people listening out in Radio Land
doesn't
exactly
matter. No, about. The vast majority of people on the radio pay their bills, unlike you, you bankrupt deadbeat.
Sure, if they could.
That's enough. Jesus. Unbelievable. Now in today's continuing series, looking back at the history of Tom Leykis, 20 years since his first broadcast in L.A., and talking about himself in the third person, here is a partial list of the people who've come and gone over the last 20 years, people who had a job in talk radio at some point in the last 20 years, and then they got broomed into the radio dustbin of history. Wink Martindale, Steve Edwards, Roger Barkley, Gloria Allred, somebody named Superfan Ed Beeler, Tracy Miller, Joe Crummy, Barbara DeAngelis, Phil Hendricks, Wayne Resnick, Carell and or Andrew, Terry Ray Elmer, Bill Smith, Ron Owens, Robin Abkarian, the man with, in my opinion, the worst hairpiece and gold tooth in history, Al Brady Law, Dave Cook, Turi Ryder, Xavier Hermosillo, Ruben Navarrete, Wally George, and who could ever forget former Los Angeles police chief Daryl Gates. All these people had jobs in talk radio over the last 20 years. Some of them have passed on. Most of them proved to be unemployable over the long haul and continue unemployed in the talk radio business. God only knows where they are employed. Good luck to you all, wherever you are.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I was right here on the Magic Mountain Parkway in the old road, and I was stopped, and Black Mustang with some chicks on it just showed me her can.
Really? What'd she look like?
She was hot.
And what'd that cup size look like to you?
Real nice. Like about a D cup. Very
Really?
nice.
Oh, my.
Oh, man, I just want to tell you thanks. I'm going to have my lights on every Friday now.
It's Flash Friday on the Tom Leykis Show.
The 20th anniversary of my first broadcast in Los Angeles. It was 20 years ago today, July 11th, 1988. 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Kurt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Kurt.
Hey, Tom, you and I go way back, my friend. I first started listening to you in 1993 when I lived in Sacramento on a little radio station up there. I think it was KSTN, if I'm not mistaken.
KSTE, yeah.
Okay, and you used to come up to the Cal Expo, to the big fair every couple of years. I'm not sure if it was every year, but one year you came out to the Sacramento Fairgrounds. You remember that?
I did, and I don't know if you remember what happened or if you knew what happened. But when I appeared at the Cal Expo at the Sacramento Fairgrounds there, they placed our broadcast site next to the exhibit of Dutch wooden shoe clog dancing.
Oh, yes, the cloggers.
And I could not get the fair to move us or them or to get them to stop performing when the mics were open. So
oh my gosh.
Around the middle of the show, I stopped telling people where we were because obviously the fair wanted us to promote Cal Expo. And I said, that's it. I'm not going to mention Cal Expo on the air anymore.
Well, good for you, man. Hey, that was around 1993-94, back when the O.J. trial was a big heated debate at that time. And I haven't gotten you on the phone since then, around that time, but I had to get in today to wish you, happy anniversary. And I find it ironic that that girl called you about 20 minutes ago saying that her boyfriend threatened to kill her if she ever cheated on her.
Yeah.
I find it very ironic, but it just brings to mind one word, or two initials, OJ.
You're exactly right about that, Kurt. Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Tiffany on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
Good. I wanted to comment on the guy who called in about how he didn't know what you had said about voting for Obama and the taxes. And the insidious taxes were what was causing everyone to be broke. Do you remember that was about
yes, I remember the conversation. I do.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to point out that it's really not the taxes and the White House controlling it. If you know economic basic principle, it's going to be the Fed and it's the inflation rate. The inflation rates are so low, that causes spending. People overspend.
It is not all about the Fed. The Fed is one component. And by the way, the guy who heads up the Fed was appointed by the president, Ben Bernanke.
Right. No, I understand that.
So start with that. That's number one. Number two, when you have a war and you don't have the dollars to fund the war because you're in budget deficit, where do those come from? Well, in case you don't know, the U.S. Mint has to print more dollars because the dollars don't exist. We don't have the tax revenue to pay for the war. Mm-hmm. When you print out more dollars, what happens to the value of $1?
The value of $1 goes down.
That's right. And that's what's called, that's what inflation is all about. When you have too many dollars, and we've had to print more and more of them over the years to pay for this war. So at the same time they're telling us that they're cutting taxes, in this very sneaky way, they're printing up more dollars, making each dollar you have worth less than it was before.
Right.
So while they technically have lowered the income tax rate on people, they have taxed you secretly by reducing the value of a dollar, raising the price of a barrel of oil, but because dollars are worth less, and it now takes more dollars to buy a barrel of oil.
This is true.
So essentially, you have had increased taxes, but you've had them in the sneaky, evil, insidious political way.
All right, but I'm just merely commenting that that's not the only thing that affects it. It's people's.
I didn't say it's the only thing that affects it. It's the thing that affects it that could be changed by having a new president.
Oh, well, that's up for debate, but a new president isn't going to single-handedly come in and change the whole economy.
Well, what if a new president what if a new president ended the war in Iraq?
Would that magically bring us out of a recession? If you know anything,
I didn't say it would magically bring us out of a recession, but it would certainly help inflation.
But it's a business cycle. The economy is going to go up.
No, it is not. No, the business cycle is other issues. As far as inflation is concerned, you know the last time we had a big inflation problem? It was during the Vietnam War.
Right, before
another war that went on and on for no apparent reason.
Right. Again, that was before I was born.
But, well, darling, crack open a book.
I know, but I couldn't directly comment on the economy during that.
Oh, well, let me tell you, read your history, and you will see that's the last time we had an inflation problem like this.
Okay. So I'm just saying it's not the only thing that...
I didn't say it was the only thing. I'm talking about the things that a president could change. And if you put in a president who said the war ends on the 31st of name a month, I guarantee you're not going to be pouring all that money down a black hole anymore. And you're going to finally be able to rebuild the value of the dollar.
All right, well, I'm not even going to argue about the war and that sort of political. I was just merely trying to state that taxes...
Don't say it. Well, don't state it for a fourth... No. Don't state it for... No. Don't state it for a fourth time. You've already said it 3 times. That's enough. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. More of your telephone calls on this Flash Friday. Coming up.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
If I'm blessed enough to meet my soulmate, why would I go and blow it with marriage?
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. On my 20th anniversary. Since my first broadcast in Los Angeles 20 years ago today, July 11th, 1988. Wow. Flash Friday. Trevor on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Hello?
Hello, Tom.
Yes.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
I'm calling to report a flashing, sir.
Where?
I was on Pico and 20th, and I stopped at a red light, and I have a headlight out on my car, and the female next to me rolled down her window and motioned for me to roll down, so I did, and she said, I see you have a headlight out, and I said, yeah, I've been meaning to get it fixed, and she said, well, you only get half the show then, and she popped her left can out of her blouse and gave me a nice peek.
I love that. Was
anyway,
it nice?
I thought it was pretty comical that I had the headlight out, and she only chose to show me one. I would have loved 2, but one will do.
Thank you so much.
All right, Tom, have a good one.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. Somebody attempted to correct my list of people who are no longer doing talk radio, and they mentioned the name Terry Ray Elmer. Terry Ray Elmer is no longer doing talk radio. She is now a news person only, but at one point she actually was one of the hosts of a morning radio program and then was unceremoniously dumped and sent back to the news department. So there. That one is correct. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Flash Friday, the Tom Leykis Show. Tony, hello.
Hey, how's it going there, Tom?
I'm doing okay, Tony.
Long-time listener, buddy. Check it out, man. I was on the side going south with a 91 East meets, man, and pulled out to the side, man. Some blonde pulled her cans out on me, man.
Really? What'd she look like?
She was hot, Tom. Blonde with some little shorts, pulled up next to me. Wow, there it goes. And she showed me everything. She kept on going and laughing, buddy. She's showing everybody going south on the 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question, Tony. If you were listening to Latino 96.3, would you be getting bare breasts on the freeway?
No, Tom, don't even ask me that. Hell no, man. That's it. That's all I got to say, Tom. I listened to you, man, and everything you said was right, Tom. Just have a little patience, and it really happens, man. That's all
Thank you for that.
Tom, blow me up, man.
I love it. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to call and get your opinion on the L.A. Kings.
In what sense?
How they're getting really, really young and they're losing all of their veterans.
Well, the biggest veteran departures that I'm concerned about are Michael Camilleri, who we were told for a long time is one of the core players, and he's the future. And the minute the guy had an uncomfortable arbitration hearing, they dumped his ass and traded him to Calgary. And then Lubomir Vyshnovsky, who did nothing but apparently what he was told, so much so that they gave him a 5 or a 6 year contract. And they unloaded him. And I hate to say this because I have many friends who work there, and they've been wonderful to us. But it looks like what they're doing is becoming kind of like the Oakland A's are in baseball, having lots of draft picks, lots of 20-year-old players who will later win Stanley Cups with other teams when they're old enough to demand a contract like that pays.
Yeah, sort of like Pittsburgh, how they were last season, where it took them a couple years.
Well, I'm wondering about the financial health of the Kings because there is a story you haven't seen yet, and it just came out this afternoon here in L.A., that the Kings are looking for someone to buy a minority share. And the rumor has it that the owner of the Boston Celtics is going to buy a share of the Los Angeles Kings. How big a share, we don't know.
Yeah, I read that today also.
Yeah.
So is that really going to happen?
Well, who knows? I guess we'll find out. But, you know, why, if the Kings had such a great business, why would they need to do that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
And also, Rob Blake is gone now.
Well, Rob Blake is 37 or 38 years old. And, you know, if you're going to let the guy go, Rob Blake said nobody from the Kings ever called him. And then I read stories to the contrary, so I don't know what really happened. But, you know, again, I've met Rob, and Rob's been on the show. We spent some time with Rob. But the days of the productivity of Rob Blake are pretty much over. He was hurt quite a bit last season, and you could argue that it was time to let him go, but not Lubomir Vyshnovsky and not Michael Camilleri. You can't. How do you explain that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
And the fact is, they haven't explained it.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe in 3 or 4 years that the Browns and the Johnsons are actually going to be stepping up and?
Well, Dustin Brown stepped up. Dustin Brown stepped up this season for the Kings. Dustin Brown, I believe, was the leading scorer on the team. He led the NHL in hits. He has stepped up. My concern is when his contract is up, will the Kings say, well, you know, you're a big star now, Dustin, and we can't afford you, so we're going to trade you for draft picks?
Or he's just going to want to leave.
Well, if there's another 4 or 5 years of losing, he might want to leave. Who knows? Dustin, by the way, is a listener, and so is his wife. I've met both of them.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Ducks fan myself, but you know, I'm just wondering lately what the heck the Kings been doing.
Well, of course, the owner of the Ducks, where is he? Probation? Where is he? Suspended?
Definitely, yeah.
What's going on there?
I have no idea. I really don't even know the whole story on that.
Then there's always a new rumor that the GM of the Ducks is leaving. Brian Burke.
And for Toronto, that was last season. That was a rumor last season.
No, but now I've read other rumors about him going other places.
I think this was last year on his contract, actually.
Right.
So, well, let's hope that works out.
Well, I'm not hearing anything good about him renewing the contract. It sounds to me like this is his final year. That's it.
Yeah, well, I hope not, because he's done a lot of good for the Ducks.
Well, my God, they won a Stanley Cup. No team in Southern California. No team in California had ever won the Stanley Cup before. It's a big accomplishment. And I would hate to see Brian Burke go, but I know he has, I believe he has a daughter on the East Coast. He might have a grandchild on the East Coast or something, wants to be closer.
Yeah, so it's definitely understandable.
Right. And that's also a good excuse when you want to get out of Anaheim, which, you know, Anaheim, many of our listeners live in Anaheim and love it, but in the world of hockey, Anaheim is considered Siberia.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking my call, Tom.
Thank you, Ryan.
Will you take me out Shaq style?
Shaq style. Here you go, Ryan.
Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes. Okay, everybody. Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes.
1-800-5800-TOM. It's Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Mike.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
Congratulations on your 20 years.
Thank you.
Great. And I just wanted to talk to you about some of the comments you made about multi-level marketing about an hour ago.
Right.
Comparing it to Ponzi scheme and stuff like that. And
which many of them are.
You know, I definitely, totally, and 100% agree with you with that. If you don't find the right company, a lot of them are definitely scams, and you should not get involved with them at all.
Even when you find the ones that are quote-unquote not scams, they're the ones that have found the way to tap dance around the law. And it's like the magazine, Barely Legal. That's what they are.
I totally agree with you, too, as well. But, as for example, the company that I'm with, you can't make any money unless you're going to be selling the products and services. And that's basically what it comes down to. Network marketing is going directly to consumers, giving average people the best chances they have to succeed, especially in an economy the way it is right now.
That's like saying that timeshares are the best way for people to own real estate who can't afford real estate. It's just a lie. It's a lie that because you're making money at it, you're used to telling, and you can now tell it convincingly. But it's a lie. Because, a legitimate job, you don't have to pay money to get involved in it. You don't.
How is this a job? Network marketing is owning a business, just like any other business.
But it's not owning a business. It's because you can't own a business for $400 or $1,000. You just can't. It is paying money that's going to make its way up the line to the top guy in the pyramid.
The reason why it costs money and the reason why it's such a low startup cost is because you have to build it. If they charge $499 for a
Why should you have to pay anything?
Because you're building a business and you're making.
So why not use the money to buy inventory? Why would you have to give money to you?
Because you're licensing. Why would anybody have to buy any? Why would you pay McDonald's $1.7 million to sell cheeseburgers that taste like crap?
Wait a minute. Let's say I wanted to sell. Let me take as an example DirecTV by telephone. Right. Okay. I go down to DirecTV's local office.
Okay.
And I apply for a gig, and they hire me. And then I presumably sit on the telephone or engage in direct mail marketing, and I sell DirecTV. And then I get a commission, and that's how it works. I don't have to pay DirecTV or any other company where I would go do sales. I've done sales, and you do not have to pay to get a sales job.
I agree 100%. But if you were to quit that sales job, would they quit paying you?
If I were to quit the sales job, would they quit? It would depend on if I had earned commissions.
Right. Well, here, you're building a business, and as long as your customers are paying their bills, you get paid, regardless of whether you're working or not. So that's why it is building a business.
Well, but again, why do we have to give you money for that?
Because you're paying money to market the products.
No, I'm not. I'm paying you.
No, you're not.
So you don't get a penny. When you sucker someone else into working with you, you don't get a penny of it?
No, I don't get a penny until they acquire customers.
Then what is your incentive to go out and get more suckers?
My incentive is to help it. I get to build let's say like this. This for example. If Ray Kroc were going to open, would he want to sell 10 cheeseburgers or would he want to sell 10 McDonald's?
What are you talking about?
Okay, if I was going to open up 10 new distributorships under me to go out and acquire customers, wouldn't that be a little bit more?
What product are you selling?
I'm selling telecommunication services.
What kind of services?
We sell landline services. We have VoIP service, which I know you're familiar with. We have DirecTV, which is funny you mentioned that. And then we also are partnered with all the major cell phone providers that are out there right now.
But why? First of all, why would any customer want to deal with one of your people and then have to pay them a commission?
Because when they go through us, they get it at a cheaper price.
And why is that?
Because when they go, we don't do any money on advertising. The big companies spend $6 to $8 million.
DirecTV's on TV all the time.
Right. But since we have a partnership with them, we get it at a wholesale price, and then we're able to distribute it to our customers at a wholesale price, which gives them an incentive to go with us.
Oh, it sounds like a timeshare presentation. I'm getting a headache, for Christ's sake.
The Tom Leykis Show.